Welcome to the Freud's Angels weekly reading, bringing the collective guidance and understanding for this week's energy.
Remember, never give your power up to a reader or a reading. You always have the power of autonomy. Hey, angels, welcome to your weekly reading. We are reading from November 16th through the 22nd. Woohoo!
My gosh.
Second week, middle week of Mercury retrograde. We're still going. We're still doing the thing. Vanessa, what does our tarot cards have to say to
I
us
know, our
today?
tarot cards. So weird to say that when we're introducing me. Like my poor mermaids. Maybe they needed the week off, and that's what this whole thing was about. And me needing to,
expand.
Yes, exactly. Which
they were tired of you stuffing things back in the deck and saying you didn't want the card. They were like, fine, we're just not going to work. We're on strike right now.
And tarot, I mean, the reason why I think I hide from tarot is because you can't hide from tarot.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to listen to us? Well, here.
Right. And also, I mean, I think, as an aside too, like the tarot cards that I use are the Golden Girls tarot cards. So it's a very softer message for me because I love the Golden Girls. They feel like a different thing. And I don't know that's now that I'm looking at these ones, I'm like, okay, I think it might be time. It might be time to go into something that's a little bit like different for you. Cause I'm not mad at this. And I feel comfortable. So everything happens the way that it's supposed to happen. Synchronicities. We've been talking about this over and over, and me feeling that big time today, trying to let the message sink all the way into all the parts of my life. We'll see how that goes. Anyway. So the card that came out for this one is the Five of Cups. And immediately when I saw it, I was like my sulky energy, right? Like felt like it was coming through here of just like, I'm not getting what I want. Like that's what, and again, like I know that tarot is like, here's the meaning of tarot, but here I go being like, here's the meaning inside that I'm getting.
Well, yeah, all relatable.
Yeah, exactly. So, like the hunched over, even having the cloak on, I mean, this is just me and my soaking energy, right? Like I feel that. And the way that the body is turned is toward the three cups that have fallen over. They are empty, they have spilled. It is despair, it is grief, it is disappointment, it is, oh God, all the things. But behind the figure is the two cups that are still upright and likely full. And it's also right next to a river, which is like, you can fill your cup in the river, dude. Like there. So I feel like when I look at this card, it's the self-made, like the self-made disappointment, the turning too much toward the negative or the loss or again the grief or the disappointment and just not balancing it enough. Like to me, looking at this is a Libra card for me in the moment of my life of saying like it's not as unbalanced as it seems sometimes, that there is a lot of opportunity that you don't see when you're going to hunch your shoulders over and stare at your empty cups, including the river that you could refill the cups with. Like it's right freaking there. So yeah, and I know like in my own life I have a tendency to do that when I have a temper tantrum about not getting what I want. Which is current energy for me. Yeah, because I think I know what I want, and then when I feel it, it's not even when I think I know. When I feel it, I get very impatient because I feel that it should happen now, whatever it is, and I feel like the current circumstance is the only way that can happen. And that's not true. Historically, when you go back through life, you really see how things do or do not happen that way. And most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time, if things are not happening, it's because it's not time. And you have to be able to see all the cups. You have to be able to see all the possibility. You have to be able to say, hey man, those ones had to knock over and empty out because it had the wrong shit in it. Like that's what I'm seeing when I look at that, of being like, you filled your cups up with something and that is done. It's over. It's not that it was terrible and wrong and awful, but it's not what's supposed to be in there anymore. Right? Like it's It's daytime. Dump out your whiskey cup and put a mimosa in.
Yeah.
It's something new is supposed to be in there, and that's it. But it doesn't mean that you ignore your grief and your disappointment. So I feel
Right.
like that's that part of it is being able to honor it without diving off the cliff completely with it and saying
Yeah.
there's no such thing as happiness now.
Yep. I want to draw a connection though to, as you were talking and as I'm thinking about the card in my head, the connection to last week's card, which is the Hermit card, and
Mhm.
how the body and the cloak is very similar,
Mm.
and how sometimes, and this is just a feeling and it doesn't mean it applies, but just another thing to consider is that when we are in too much of a hermit and we don't come out of it because we're too comfortable and we don't come out of it, we become focused on the grief and we become that
Mm.
old creepy man in the woods that is like, "Duh, get off my lawn," that kind
Yeah.
of,
Mhm.
because we get kind of insular and we don't see the beauty because we're not focused on seeing the beauty because we're so stuck in what isn't happening for us, what isn't working, and then things fall apart and we're forced to surrender your fear of change. So, this
Well,
week,
damn.
I know, right? I know, like, fucking A. These things cannot, like, this is wild to me that these always happen.
Mhm.
The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always, whether you're afraid of change in your job, health, or relationship, of you fearing aging or death. Repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. So when we fear change, we hold on to what we want, what we think we want, we're clutching onto that one thing that we think that we need. And sometimes it's about filling your cup with something different, changing it from the whiskey sour to the mimosa, changing it from, yes, the water dumped out of your cup, but there's a river that is abundant and flowing and waiting for you to step in and fill your cup with that river. And also there's two cups behind you that is very stable and familiar and sturdy. But grief is important to have, but we can have that grief and own that grief and not, and be afraid to also refill our cup and to look at what we already have. But it isn't necessary that we do that, because that's how we move forward. That's how we allow life to continue, is that we don't simply stare at what we don't have or what has happened because we fear the change of what is happening and the shifting and the growing. We have to say, I am grieving the loss of that, but yet I know that this is it. This is what I need to do. This is the surrendering of the fear of change. And again, we talked last week about the idea of doing it afraid. Yes, but when we honor the grief and honor how we feel, we can make change. We can move forward with fear, even if we it's scary. We can still do it, but we have to honor the grief that is within us. So, but the numerology card takes it just one step farther, because, I mean, all of this.
Yeah.
So, we are the number 9, completion, letting things be complete as they are, even if there isn't some sort of closure, even if there isn't this idea of reconciliation or understanding, or you feel that it is at its completion. If something is complete and it's telling you it is complete, hanging on to it sometimes brings in that prolonged grief, that prolonged inability to see the beauty that is there, that is waiting, the bounty, the rush, the flow of the river, as well as the two cups that are always been there for you and always supported you. And in the book, is the card, this card indicates a time of necessary endings and completions and preparation for new beginnings. By drawing this card, you are encouraged to let go of the old to make way of the new. This may relate to a particular mindset, behavior, friendship, job, residence, or relationship you have outgrown, or it could indicate a completion of a karmic lesson. But it's not just completion as in like you're moving on. When you can surrender that fear of change and surrender to the completion of something, that is your evolution.
Mhm.
If you feel like you're still stuck on something and you're focused and you're looking and you're kind of clutching onto it, why? What information is still there that you feel that you internally need to understand before you let this go?
Mhm.
Because Sometimes it's fear of change. Sometimes it's fear of being different. Sometimes there's other conversation and belief systems that are preventing you from letting it go. But why? What is the fear? If you let this go, what do you fear? What meaning is being made of letting this thing go? And that will clue you into the exploration of something that you need to continue to discover. Because I think, we say all the time to our friends, and we're always like, oh, just let it go, or just move on. It's okay, it's fine. But what we don't realize is there's something that's happening that is wanting their attention, some conversation, some piece of information that is activated that is like, no, no,
Mhm.
no, 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 don't let go of that yet. There's information here. Even though it feels like it's a different conversation, there's something, there's a wealth of information. And so
And it's
that's
not
why.
always fear. I think that's what happens is like we'll be like, I'm not afraid. It's like, okay, you might not be afraid, but you might be, just like just impatient. Which is me, right? Like
Yeah.
like it's either this or that, like because I'm just impatient. Like I'm not, and maybe if we look under the impatience, there might be a fear of not moving fast enough. But I don't even like it doesn't even sound right to say out of my mouth. It's just
Yeah.
kind of like I'm just impatient. I don't. If the karmic lesson is going to happen, I want it to happen now and be done. Like that's not how it works because you will not absorb it. You will not learn the whole thing, and you're gonna have to do it again. And I think that's that conversation to have, right? Like when I have to have that, when I've had to have that conversation with myself quite a few times recently of like, what is happening right now? Are you being stubborn? Like sit and think about it. Are you being stubborn? Okay. No, because when you try to do A, B, or C, it feels viscerally wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's your body telling you that the direction that your brain is trying to take you isn't right. Okay, good. Well, what's the problem? I'm just being impatient most of the time is me saying, I'm ready to do the next thing because I love being in movement energy. I don't really like being in what feels like stagnant energy, but it's because I don't look at what that does for me, which is gives me opportunity to see all the things around me, right? I want to go 100 miles an hour and then I don't see the scenery and I get all pissed off that I did not see the scenery. Like, well, girl, slow down. You'll see all of it. It'll all be there. And it won't always be the place that you are going to stay. You're just going to see things and observe things and learn things along the way. So, yeah, I'm definitely feeling that. I have to laugh because every time you bring a numerology thing out, and this is how my brain works, I attach it to a hockey player. And I do this with everything. Like if I want to remember numbers, I just use hockey player numbers. And I was thinking
Yes.
about Zachary saying, being like, "Oh, it's retirement." I was like, "Oh, it's retirement, right?" Like,
And also, but also remember, folks, I think as well, and also when we want black or white thinking, there's a need for control. There's a need for a surety in something happening, or a surety in like that something won't happen in the interim. Whenever I'm in black or white thinking, I'm like, who is unsafe? Who feels something that they don't want to feel? Or what is it, the feeling sometimes that is there that I don't want to feel? And I either want it to be black or white because it's easier, because I'm controlling the situation. Either it's in, you're in or out, like you're in or out, like that's it. No more, no in
yeah,
between. Like, because it's there's an energy of, for some it's safety, for some it's the idea of, it's trauma, because it's when you live in a even today and in the world today, but if you've lived as a young child in places of unsurety, you want guarantees, because there is an energy that's sitting underneath there. And that's also a conversation to consider when you are looking for black and white thinking. There is something also there as well.
yeah. And
Our
as you were saying it, I was just thinking about like how I tend to just like again with my impatience, I start things and then I create chaos in my life, right? Like so, the black and white makes me think I'll have less chaos if I have less things going on because I cannot control myself and adding adding to the plate. Like, oh God, I don't know what's going on over there. So let's just make something happen over here so that I got something to do. And then it becomes chaotic because I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
what have I done?
Exactly. Now I have more things to maintain. Damn it. Why couldn't I just sat in it?
Too scary, man. Our money card. I trust my ability to manifest money. That one is for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, I'm in this major moment myself of fearing change, of fearing, of grieving the loss and looking like I'm the 5 of Cups, right? I'm in that
Wow.
phase of looking at what I'm losing in the beginning of the year and not focused on all the other things that are around me that is still supporting me, my job. There's the flow of the river that I'm been asking for. And then it's like, fill me up, jump in, do your thing. But I'm still focused on the fact that I'm losing something because that's what we do when we're in survival
Mhm.
or we're in panic and trauma happens. We focus on what is wrong so we can fix it or correct it. So yeah, no, I'm having a bit of a
Story
five.
cards. Thanks for roasting us. Goodbye.
But again, it's also there is a point that no matter how hard you're roasted by your tarot cards, right? There is a point where there is a knowing of this that happens that
Yeah.
even though things are like,
Oh, yeah.
"No," and you're wanting to cry and freak out, there's a part that's kind of super calm and super like, yep, we're going to be okay. We'll figure this out. We've always have. We've been resourceful. Things may not look like the way you want them to look like in the beginning, but it's okay. It really is. So yeah, so it's just, I think, so much of this is we feel like so many avenues energetically, physically in the world, we're all kind of melting and on fire. But
Sure.
hopefully this too shall pass. And we do what we can do to help support the people of the world that need our support.
Yes.
Um, if you have anything you need to sign, anything you need to do, anything you need to create, anything you need to put out into the world, which I'm super glad that I remembered this because it gives me a little bit of a breather of knowing when to pitch. November 20th is the Mercury Cazimi. This is when the sun and Mercury seem like they're right together, they're directly in line with each other. This is a reprieve from some of the retrograde energy. So if you have specific things you need to do, like you can't stop your life. If you're signing a contract or you're signing a lease or you're doing something and you're launching something and you're like, dude, we're doing it. The 20th, try to do it on the 20th or around that day, like, within 12 hours either side of that day, if you can, because it's like that sun through the clouds moment of like, oh, we can breathe for air. Okay, we can do something. All right. And then we have 9 more days left. So it's like it's generally the direct center of a retrograde season. And so when we hit that, we're on the home stretch. So November 20th, mark it on the calendars because that's when if you need to do something important, do it then. It'll just help. And I'm not saying don't do it any of the other days. If you're doing shit, do shit. You just know that you may have to kind of maybe reconsider or adapt some details later on, but don't ever fear doing something during a retrograde. We know what will happen. We know it may be something you have to reassess later, but this is not about stopping your life. It's about being strategic with the energy of life.
Yeah. And again, I mean, seriously, like I feel like if there's shit that I do and it's because I'm being impatient, then I'm going to learn my lesson, right? Like, and that's just it, right? Like, and I have to be willing to say that to myself when I'm saying, okay, if you're going to be impatient and you're going to push this, then just we'll see what happens. But just remember that, like, that you're pushing. That's all. You just remember that you're pushing. That is because you're pushing.
Yeah.
Because you're not being patient. That's all.
Yep. 1000%.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyways, my friend. We love you. We're here for you. Reach out to us. Email us if you need us. freud'sangels@gmail.com. Yeah. So being that we are second week in, some of you that are on my mailing list will hear that I have started to begin to talk about the next round of Sacred Body Path. I'll probably drop a few lines here and there in the next couple weeks. It starts December 10th. If you're curious and you want to know more about it and you'd rather just have a conversation with me, shoot us an email. I'll get on a call with you. But again, this isn't about this. I wish I could put in this episode the video testimonial that someone had written for me that was in my class because it was truly amazing. And I wish I could convey to you why and how it may change your life, but it's hard to do it in 10 seconds or less. So if you need to talk to me about what it could be about, how it could help you, you let me know. I'm happy to chat with you, get on a Zoom call. So just be prepared to hear more about it in the next coming weeks.
Oh yeah.
Because it's going to be a thing. And this is a place, this is our podcast, and this is where we need to promote our own stuff. So
We do what we want here.
yes. Love you guys. Have a great week.
Hey, love ya. Thanks for listening.
We hope we gave you something to support your journey.
Check out our Facebook or Instagram page to connect with us.
Have a great week.